Welcome back. It is day 3 of the competition. We're starting to get a little further in, and this is actually where I strongly disagree with the outcome here. And interestingly enough, there were no Tumblr comments, possibly because I posted the poll late. But either way, no comments, which I think was interesting. But let us go on with our journey. We have 128 Junior, or 128's Yearling versus 602 Floatato, and then 32 Chunk versus 901. And we have quite a bit of lore going into this one. I'm not going to reread the bios for the bears we've already covered, so we're going to read about 602 Floatato, which I think is an incredible name. With his grizzled fur and signature stomping dance, Bear 602 knows how to grab attention when he's around. Unlike most, he prefers late summer fishing, lounging in the river like it's his personal spa day. No rush, just relaxation. He's not your typical bear, always adapting to new habits and taking full advantage of the salmon run when it suits him. This is his first Fat Bear Week, and he's here for the good times, fishing, napping, and maybe even a bit of lounging in the river. Frankly, I don't think that I need to even do any analysis here. It is so obvious that 602 could eat 128's Yearling for breakfast. Honestly. These photos were taken pretty close together, and it's very, painfully obvious that 602 Floatato is massive and easily takes the win here. And again, we've already gone through 128 Yearling's lore. We've already and there is nothing for 602 yet because this is his first year competing. What's interesting to me is that it's not a slam dunk. The official poll voted at 78%, which, I thought it would be higher. And Tumblr voted for 71%. But yeah, this was very obvious. 602 Floatato took the crown easily. Alrighty, now we have our next matchup, 901 and 32 Chunk. And these two have history, which is very interesting. We're going to get into some of the lore here. But let's first go through 32 Chunk's bio since we already went through 901. A large bear with narrowly set eyes, dark brown fur, and a scar across his muzzle. After a battle left him with a broken jaw, Chunk had to get creative. He's still a dominant bear, even with a permanent injury. He's adapted learning how to fish without using his jaw fully, relying on his sheer size and experience to still dominate. A true survivor, Chunk shows that it's not just about brute strength. It's about being adaptable and staying tough. And I think that that's very, very inspirational. When it comes to lore about these bears, however, 32 Chunk is the only bear to have completed in every single Fat Bear Week, other than 747, who isn't here this year. So between these two bears, it should be noted that 901 and 32 Chunk have faced off before, back in 2023. 32 Chunk took her out. And it should also be noted that 901 eliminated 480 Otis in his last competing year. So there might be some resentment from the public here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe people don't know that part of the lore. But that's the only explanation I have for why 901 lost to 32 Chunk. And this one was very controversial. The official vote got 70% for 32 Chunk. But Tumblr only gave him 53%, which I thought was so interesting. That's the only one that is that is just that much of a difference. But I thought it was interesting that they were so close, and I can absolutely see why. I clearly see, look how round 901 is versus 32 Chunk. Like his belly, look at this. Look at that angle right there. Wait, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Look at this angle. This is a steep angle. Like he is more of a V-shaped boy rather than like round. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't. I'm the expert here. You can look at the length of her muzzle versus the length of her ass versus the length of his muzzle versus the length of his ass. She's just proportionally bigger. I truly do believe that 901 and 32 Chunk, like this is an extremely even matchup, but I think that this is where the question of extenuating circumstances came into play this year because of his jaw. because he got to the size he did and to how far as he did with a broken jaw. Like, imagine if 32 Chunk didn't have a broken jaw, how much bigger he would be. And here's where I'm very torn. Like, I do think that there's an alternate, reality there where 901 could have taken the crown here. 901 could have won this one, and I wouldn't have been mad about it. How about I put it that way? I do congratulate him. He still, he put in the effort, clearly. I just think that 901, at least proportionally speaking, is a lot rounder than 32 Chunk and is giving 151 Walker a run for his money. There was one year that 151 Walker was a perfect circle in the rear region, and 901 is pretty damn close to that. So this is a little controversial on Tumblr, not so much on the official vote, but it did raise the question for me of, do extenuating circumstances matter? And I still haven't decided yet. I would love to know what you think, if you think that we should be taking into account things like, gaining a permanent disability like Chunk did. But then, you wonder how far. Like, should we give mothers of cubs, a pass here? Like, should that be taken into account, that the fact that they are competing in Fat Bear Week, but also are mothers, for example? So I'm really curious to know what you think. 901 was eliminated. I don't think that it was necessarily right, but it is what it is. And 602 Floatato definitely beat out 128th Yearling. I think that was the correct decision. I think I would have lost my mind if 602 had lost to that little cub there. So that's it for day 3. I'll see you in the next video for day 4.